Has anyone from the Trump administration reached out to you? Are you surprised that you haven't been replaced or asked to leave?
Well, look, I understand it is a tough decision to figure out who should take the CFPB. It's an agency that has recovered billions of dollars in the past few years from bad actors, including some of the biggest banks on Wall Street. And there is a well-funded opposition to the agency itself, and many people would love to see it burned to the ground. So I'm just doing my job each and every day, and I want to make sure that when someone is chosen, there can be a smooth transition. We've put into place so many different initiatives that we think my successor could carry the torch with to take on some of the exorbitant credit card interest rates and fees, to tackle the issue of debanking, which has raised so many concerns, and just so much more. So I'll keep serving my 5-year term unless I hear otherwise.
If you were asked to stay for the entire 5 years, the term, or if they don't say anything to you, would you be willing to serve your entire term? I know that Richard Cordray was the last head of the CFPB under President Obama, and he served his entire 5-year term, which extended into the first Trump term.
Well, I don't want to comment on any discussions. I think what's important is that we have put into place a plan so that we can make those handoffs. And what's so important is that there are so many issues on which there is broad bipartisan consensus. The way in which some banks and financial companies have ripped off people, have scammed them and defrauded them, they need to be held accountable. We heard yesterday President Trump call out the CEOs of Bank of America and JP Morgan Chase for closing people's accounts or not doing business with them. The CFPB has already proposed a rule to make sure that there is not discrimination based on political views or speech when it comes to people's bank accounts. So I think there's a lot of work that just needs to get done, and whoever is in this seat needs to be able to stand up to that very well-funded opposition who is trying to delete or defund the agency.
That very well-funded opposition, Rohit, is in the White House. I mean, I'm just a little confused here. I mean, I understand, and in fact, I applaud your sense of duty to your job, but you have a president who made it very clear on the campaign trail his, I guess, lack of love for your department. He's putting people in place in other cabinet positions that have made it clear they have no love for your department. So even if you are able to finish out your term, do you think that you can effectively get anything done, or at least anything done that you want?
Well, like you said, I swore an oath to discharge my duties. I'm responsible for policing large banks and other financial firms to make sure they don't run a repeat of what they did in the years leading up to the financial crisis. Just a few days ago, we recovered $175 million from Cash App for their role in facilitating fraud, and we've taken big action. So, Romaine, we'll see what my successor will or will not do. But based on what I'm hearing, I think there's a lot of issues where President Trump has seen that consumers do need to do something. The very high credit card fees and interest rates, the issue of data brokers who are ingesting all of our personal data. But look, I'm ready to hand off the baton whenever, and I'm just going to keep serving until I have someone to hand it off to.
What can you talk about any specific proposals that you might sort of put out there under a Trump umbrella, assuming that you do stay on the job for another year or so? What specifically would you do that you think would actually pass muster with the White House?
Well, look, I'm looking to make sure that there is a smooth transition to whoever is going to take over, and I'm hopeful that that person would carry on some of the really solid work we've been doing to take on illegal junk fees that have been draining people's bank accounts. Sometimes you're getting charged for things that are ridiculous, that you never signed up for, and don't even provide any service.
Yeah.
We've done so much when it comes to credit report accuracy, including the scourge of medical bills that are parked on credit reports to coerce people into paying bills they don't even owe.
Rohit, just real quickly, though, have you met with anyone from the Trump administration?
Well, we are always trying to make sure that when the transition wants to talk to us, there is protocols that are set up during a transition, and we are always responsive to that. But at the end of the day, it is important that there be a smooth handoff to whoever takes this. And I'm really hoping that this agency will continue to do the job that Congress set out for it after the financial crash. It's just too important to the public and our markets. And a CFPB that is not doing anything, that's just a recipe to bait a financial crisis or
Rohit,
allow fraud to spread.
Before I let you go, just really quickly, is that your pitch then to the White House if you were to stay? I mean, have you made a pitch to them?
No. My job is to make sure that I'm discharging my duty and to make a smooth handoff whenever they are ready. Whether it's today, tomorrow, a few days later, whenever it might be, it is important that the CFPB aggressively protect consumers. Romaine, I hear you that you're skeptical, but I need to do everything I can to make sure that these important initiatives persist.